Kelly Tremaine, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
A recent press release from the network says that it has transplanted more organs last year than ever before. I was kind of surprised to hear that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would think during the pandemic that things would slow down quite a bit. But I think, honestly, just through the generosity of Hoosiers, we were able to transplant 43% more organs than we did in 2019. So it was a record-setting year for us.
What kind of organs are needed now this year?
Well, the same organs are always needed. Kidney is definitely the organ that most people are waiting for. There's currently over 106,000 people nationwide waiting for an organ transplant, and over 1,000 of those in Indiana. So wow. That includes everything from heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, pancreas, to small intestine.
What is the process like to become a donor?
Actually, it's very simple. People can go online to register at donatelifeindiana.org. They can register at the B&B when they renew their license. Last year, we implemented a new way with the Fishing and Gaming Association. So when people go to get their fishing or hunting license, they can also register there. So it's actually very simple, takes just a matter of minutes.
What about the donation process? How does that work?
Well, it's a pretty extensive process because we do evaluate everyone to make sure that they're medically suitable. And we never want anyone to rule themselves out as a donor, but let us take care of that. And then we have to do a lot of different testing to evaluate the organs, take a lot of time placing the organs with the intended recipients. And then there's the surgical recovery process as well. It's very similar to a surgical process that you would see at a hospital. So it's a pretty extensive process, and but well worth it for our recipients, obviously.
Well, speaking of the recipients, what's the process like for them?
Well, we don't deal with the recipients mostly on our end. That's dealt with at the transplant center hospitals, but they have to go through a very extensive workup as well. They have to make sure that they have the emotional capacity to handle a transplant, the financial capacity, of course. There's a lot of various testing to make sure that they're suitable as well. And then for them, a lot of it's just about the wait. The wait time varies depending on the organ that they're waiting for and depending on what part of the country that you live in as well. So sometimes people can wait a month or a couple of days. Sometimes they can wait years. So it really, really just depends. And then when they get that call, they come into the hospital and they have to have another series of tests run to make sure that they're suitable at that specific point in time. And then it's a matter of, just a lot of logistics, coordinating us getting the organ from wherever the donor is to that specific transplant recipient.
Forgive me if you mentioned this, but how many are on the list right now?
There's over 106,000 nationwide waiting and over 1,000, waiting in the state of Indiana.
Okay. So, all right. Well, Kelly Tremaine, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Appreciate you.